Your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Let your soul and spirit. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic.
Back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Tricia Cunningham.
Good evening, Suzette.
Nice to see you again.
You too.
Well, I tell you what, you know, one of our favorite people, of course, and I have to tell you.
We have a long list of favorite people.
We do. We have it. But every other week we get to hear from our two biggest facilities. I shouldn't say facilities. Institutions. Right here in the heart of Mystic. And one of them is the Mystic Seaport, and of course the other one is the Mystic Aquarium.
Indeed.
So it's so nice to have Erin Merce back from the Mystic Aquarium, and you're going to let us know what's going on.
Yeah, well, a couple of recent successes I can share with you. We had our annual Penguin Run Walk in October, mid-October, and it was extremely successful. So I just want to thank everyone from the community who came out to support us. It was a really fun day.
Did you walk, Erin?
I ran. I did the 5K run this year.
Of course you did.
Congratulations. Was that your first 5K?
Thank you. No, I've done a few. So
all right. Good for you.
It was a great course, so I look forward to doing it next year. So I just want to thank everyone for that. And we also had a great Halloween. So now coming up, looking into November, we're doing a Veterans Day promotion to thank the folks that serve our country. So free admission for active and retired military, November 10th through 12th.
Of course, they have to show their ID card.
Exactly.
Okay, the military ID card. Okay.
Yep. And then dependents with an ID, dependents ID get a great discount, $15 for an adult, $10 for a child. So it's one of the best discounts we offer. We did something similar in July in honor of July 4th. We're bringing it back for Veterans Day.
That's terrific. Good.
So we invite everyone to come out and really take advantage, of course. And then Polar Express is coming.
Polar Express coming to the aquarium.
Yes, favorite for the kids.
To our 4D theater. This is the first year for our 4D theater. It's coming Black Friday, November 23rd. It's going to be there. We're going to have some special events going on.
The whole
Well, it's just in the 4D theater. It's a 3D film experience with an interactive environment. So the Polar Express is the film. It's not the full feature film. It's a short,
it's a mini,
exactly.
version.
It's a mini version of it, and we're going to do some fun Polar Express activities for everyone that comes to participate.
Fun.
What a weekend. There's going to be a line.
I think so.
I think so too. I mean, it's traditionally a pretty, good day for us right after Thanksgiving, and people want to come out and spend time with their families.
Well, they want to walk around after the turkey. And everything that's been eaten the day before. That's fantastic. That's great to hear.
Great.
Well, Erin, we look forward to a lot of good things happening, and you're going to be coming back in a couple weeks to tell us what's
about the holiday
stuff going on.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
very much, Erin. Thank
you.
And Tricia, what do we have on the calendar?
Well, one of the things, since she just talked about the day after Thanksgiving in Polar Express, one of the things that we have in downtown Mystic is the Holiday Lighted Boat Parade. Which is one of my personal favorite events that we do in Mystic and we do at the Chamber. But this year it's a little different.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to make sure I talk to as many people about it as possible so that you're all informed. The bridge has to be closed. As you know, the bridge has been going through a 3-year bridge kind of reconstruction process. And they're in their third and final phase of that right now. But what's happening is the bridge, as of November 1st, is going to be kept in the closed position, or November 3rd, really, kept in the closed position. And what is basically going to happen is the boats won't be able to go through. So the boats will kick off the parade at Seaport Marine, and they'll parade down the river towards the drawbridge. And then as they go through the drawbridge, well, not through the drawbridge, to the drawbridge, they'll kind of do a little circle go back up towards the train bridge, and then come back and dock, and for everybody to see. So they're basically, you won't be able to see from the seaport or from S&P Oyster Company or from the river road, but from Mystic Arts Center, from the Mystic River Park, from Seaport Marine, and up through to the train bridge. You'll have a great viewing vantage point, but it's going to be a wonderful parade again this year. But just keep that in mind. I want to make sure people flock to the Mystic Arts Center area or the Mystic River Park area.
So there are other areas that the boats can be viewed. It's just some, you know,
you might be used to watching it take off from the seaport. So they're not going to start from the seaport this year. Next year it'll be back to normal. So this year it's just a little different.
And that's okay.
It's okay. Absolutely, we're flexible at the chamber.
We are,
so we can work with that.
We definitely.
And we're going to cap it at 25 boats. So if you're interested in being in the parade, you have to get your application in because 25 is the cutoff.
Right, and there were other things going on that evening too. Of course, our area restaurants and our shops are open that evening too. So, so grab your hot cider and come on down. Is that what you're saying? And your hot cocoa.
Yep, and enjoy with the community. It's a fun day. Earlier that day, since I am talking about that. So this is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So earlier that day, Santa arrives by boat in Mystic River Park as well. So it's just a fun holiday day, gets you in the spirit.
Okay. Yeah. You want to introduce our guest this evening?
I would love to. So
since you're on a roll here.
Since I'm on a chatty roll, our two guests this evening we have with us are from Hospice Southeastern Connecticut, which, as you know, is one of my favorite nonprofits in the community. And last year I did a fundraiser for them, which I'm very happy that I did that, and it was a lot of fun. Got a lot of support from Hospice. So we have a great team from Hospice. We have Jeff Nelson and Denise.
Welcome back, Jeff.
From Hospice Southeastern Connecticut.
Welcome, Denise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us first about your titles and your capacities at Hospice and what you both do. What are your roles?
Okay, I am the annual giving and special events manager. So I work with coordinating and organizing our walk, our regatta, our Tree of Life, and then also in the fall we have an annual appeal that we do to the community, and I also work with managing that. So that's what I do.
Which is a big job.
And Jeff?
I'm Jeff Nelson. I'm Director of Community Development at Hospice Southeastern Connecticut, and what I do is I sort of oversee the development team at Hospice. We have a great team. We do events, we do annual giving, we do communications, whether it's with the public or with the media, and also a little bit of marketing, if you will, getting our word out to the doctors' offices and health fairs, et cetera. So we have our hand in a lot of things.
Excellent.
So tell us about Southeastern, your hospice, your organization, where it's located, how long?
We've been around for 27 years. We are the community-based nonprofit hospice in New London County.
That's very important.
And we are located in the center part of the county. We're located in Norwich, but we cover the entire county. So that makes sure that people know that we are the local folks. We offer hospice care. We offer palliative care, which is something where if someone is undergoing treatment but they need a little bit of help managing their symptoms, etc., we can help with that, pain symptoms. And we also do bereavement care, which is not only for our families of our patients, but for the community as a whole.
Okay, all right. Good. We talked about the regatta and the walk, and who wants to talk about how successful that was?
Yes, yeah, no, it was a wonderful event, and we're really grateful for the community coming out.
That takes place in Mystic.
It does, yep. It takes place in Mystic. It takes place in the Niantic area. There's one that happens in New London, and then there's another one that happens in Stonington.
Oh, so there's a whole series of them.
There's a whole series.
Who actually organizes that and does the route and make sure
Well, there's a committee.
Okay.
So there's a representative from each of those clubs on the committee, and they work together. Judy Gibbs is the chair of the committee, and we kind of coordinate and work together. And each club hosts their own race for us, and then some of the clubs will host a party as well, in addition, a fundraising party. And so all those events came together. So we have the Mystic River So yeah, the Mudheads, and we have the Stonington Yacht Club, Stonington Dinghy Club, the Niantic Bay Yacht Club, and the Thames Yacht Club. So those are the 4 clubs that work with us, and they really do a lot of work and come forth and support us in a great way. So we raised over $74,000, which is $10,000 more than the previous year. So we're just so grateful for the community and how they really come out and show great support for us.
And then the other big event that you do is the walk.
Yes, yeah.
And when is that held?
That happens in May, the second Saturday of May each year. And so we're looking forward to doing that again. But that raised over $67,000, which is more than $10,000 again from the previous year. And again, great community support. We have various volunteers that come together from the community to form a committee to help to organize and get the word out for that. And we've got a lot of great sponsorship and support from local businesses. And so it's really a great, wonderful event.
Have you it sounds like you've seen some growth in giving over the last year or so.
Yeah, I think people have really taken to the events, and the friends asking friends. It seems that people really respond to that in a great way, and we're seeing increased support. And I think just really the great team effort that we have between our community volunteers and our staff really makes it happen. Yeah.
Jeff, now about 5 or 6 times I've heard Denise say community support. Okay.
It's very critical to what we do. What we do is not entirely reimbursed by Medicare or insurance companies, so we have to make up the difference through generous donations from the community, public giving. And we do that through events. We do that through memorial gifts. If someone passes away and they say in lieu of flowers, donate money to, oftentimes we'll be one of those agencies that they place on the obituary. We also do grant work. We get some money from grants from some of our great businesses in the area that have foundations, very helpful to us. And we also do an annual appeal where we send out a mailing, and all those dollars come in, and what they do is they help us provide the services. Sometimes people don't have insurance coverage, but they need hospice care. We can provide that. Sometimes they will have an issue where if one breadwinner is ill and the other breadwinner is a caregiver, now you have a problem with income, and that can lead to some issues. We have social workers that work with our families and with our local agencies to try and find solutions to those, but sometimes we need some dollars to get them through a particular immediate crisis.
Right.
And that's where these
the crisis at hand.
The crisis at hand. Their heat's been shut off, or their phone's about to be shut off, and until we can find a permanent solution for them, we need to be able to get those things put back on, because we're there to care for the patient medically, but we're also there to care for them emotionally, and their family members as well. So it's a whole entire team.
If they don't have a house that has food and that has no heat,
how can you provide medical care?
That's the foundation of medical right there.
Exactly.
If they can't provide that.
And the generosity of the community allows us to do that. We couldn't do that otherwise. Our bereavement care is something that that we offer. Half the people on our bereavement programs who are going through grief counseling, whatever, do not have a loved one that was on hospice care. They've experienced a direct loss. They need some assistance. They don't know where to turn, and we are the experts at death and dying, and so they come to us, and free of charge we offer bereavement support groups or one-on-one counseling.
What are the bereavement support groups? What are they like? How are they set up?
We tailor them toward all age ranges. We go from the very young to seniors. We have a wonderful program with children called our Expressive Arts program, and children are trying to figure out how to deal with grief, and oftentimes adults give them a sense that showing grief and working through grief is not necessarily a good thing, hide it, and we work with them, and one of the great things about our program is the strength of our volunteer program. Part of that is our pet therapy dogs. And they come in with their handlers who are volunteers.
I've met some of these dogs.
They're
they are
wonderful.
So amazing.
We have 14 or 15 dogs, and they come in all sizes, from small pugs and even
I remember that one
a teacup
golden.
Yorkie to Goldens to Irish Wolfhounds. So they go from teeny to huge.
And they're gentle.
They are. And the kids come in, and for about 45 minutes they play with the dogs. And as anyone knows, when you see a dog, it makes your blood pressure go down, it makes you feel better, and so it brings those, it loosens them up, it allows the emotions to kind of come to the surface, and then once they're done with that, they go to work with our expressive arts counselor, who then uses art and different types of art, whether it's painting or acting out plays or puppet shows, to work with their grief, to bring it out in them and to teach them how to deal with it. It's not a bad thing, it's a part of life, but you have to learn how to deal with it. And everybody goes through the grieving process differently, and so we work with them to say it's not a bad thing, you have to go through it, and you'll go through it on your own timing, and we'll help you with it. And it really is a great program. We also have more traditional bereavement support groups for adults, where they would come together and have a facilitator work with them in groups, and we also have a great bereavement counselor who will work with people one-on-one if necessary and talk with them about that.
And that's a service that's available through hospice, even if you didn't lose a loved one and were affiliated with hospice prior
it's available to the community.
So it's available to anybody.
Sometimes we've had some tragedies at schools where they've needed some counselors to come in. We will help provide those counselors to come in, talk with the kids if one of their classmates has died suddenly.
That's nice.
Denise, you're seeing an increase, like what Tricia said, in the giving. Why is that?
Well, I think a part of it is probably the community has changed how they've given the economic changes that we've had recently. I think people are a little bit more close to home in terms of how they give. And so I think with the events, there's that friend asking friend component. So I think people will give more likely to, if their friend will ask them to give and support them, and respond better to that instead of to a mailing, to say. So I think that's kind of what has happened, and I think also just the knowledge that's been getting out there in the community through the marketing that we do to really help people understand who we are and what we do, and how their funding makes a difference. I think that helps people to know how to support us and how their gifts will make a difference. And so it's a connection, it's a personal connection that they can make in that way.
And we've seen a growth in the use of our services, and so we need to see a corresponding increase in our donated dollars in order to cover that increase in use of services.
So you've seen a growth in services. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's getting the word out, better communication with the community. We've seen some increase in the numbers of patients and the families that come with them. But we've also seen an increase in the length of time that people have been in our program, which is a good thing because it allows us to give them the maximum benefit of the range of services that we offer. And it's something that oftentimes we hear, if only we had known sooner.
Right.
And so we're trying to get that word out so that they come on.
Contact us earlier.
It's amazing how many people come on our program but are only alive for a few days, less than a week. And it really doesn't give us the chance to help them as much as we can. Right. And so if we can get them to think of us sooner and make that decision sooner, it's better for them and their families. So we can bring the whole team.
If someone's watching this and says, okay, maybe this is something I might need to look into in the future, or I think I might need to look into it now, what's the process? How do they go about that?
They can talk to their doctor. They can call us. We're more than happy to talk with them. They can just call us up at 860-848-5699 or go on our website at hospicesect.org. And they can contact us. We'll put them in touch with someone who will talk to them, find out where they or their loved one are at the moment medically. We'll work with their doctor to fill out the forms, get the insurances worked out, etc. And when they're ready, they can come on our program. Sometimes it's immediate, sometimes they're not quite there yet, but they want to take the steps to educate themselves.
So they can do all the work
beforehand.
in advance and get some of that paperwork filled in advance, and then just be ready. That's terrific.
Right. Yeah. And you do hear a lot of families, Jeff and Denise, that they're not just quite ready for that, because I think, they really think this is the end, which it could, that may be so, but during that time there could be some really happy times.
Yeah. And it's about quality of life and having control of how you live the end of your life.
Right, and I think that's very important for people to know. Jeff, you've got some other, we talked about at the beginning of the show something about Sentimental Journey, and all I could think of is the song. I want you to tell us about that.
Sentimental Journeys is a program.
It's been in my mind, okay?
It's a program that started 13 years ago in Colorado, and it's now in 33 states. And what happened was literally a couple of EMTs in an ambulance were driving a hospice patient somewhere to the hospital or wherever, and he wanted to see the mountains and the trees one last time. And so they brought him to the mountains and the trees, and they showed him that. And they realized this is something that we can do for people who are coming to the end of their life and want to experience something they haven't one last time, to see old memories one last time. And so it was something that actually American Ambulance came to us with, an idea they came to us with. And we were thrilled that they chose us to partner with because it's a great program. When we have a patient who we think has expressed a wish to do this and we think meets the criteria that they have to be part of this, we will talk with American Ambulance. They have a wonderful team there who volunteer their time and their ambulance. It's free of charge. We've had our first person go through the program, and it was really a joy. They had lived in the Norwich area and now lived in Waterford, and they wanted to come back to the Norwich area one last time, see some of their old memories, go down to the waterfront, have some ice cream, and just experience those old memories one last time. And the joy on their face, the joy on the face of their loved ones was just wonderful. They appreciated it so much, and it's due to the generosity of American Ambulance and our staff that we can do this, and to the community that helps to support it.
It's a great program.
It really is.
That's
wonderful. It really is.
Wow. Yeah. And I think it's one of those things that makes hospice care unique. Why it's so important that people do come onto our program as early as they can, because it's one of those programs that when you're on the program for a week, you won't really get access to that, because at that point it's really an emergency situation, and so you're in there providing care for the very end. But when someone is able to come onto our program early, they can experience these services, because the services that hospice provides is interdisciplinary, so it's not just for the patient, it's for the patient and their family. So there's so much that we can do beyond caring for the physical need of the patient, but also caring for the emotional need of the patient, emotional need of their family. We can provide some special memories, like the pet therapy. The dogs can go out and visit them if that's something that they'd like, or they can go on a sentimental journey if that works out for their situation.
I absolutely love that program. Jeff, when you brought that up, you can picture somebody, who is struggling, and of course the family's struggling. They want to just give it that one
break, it gives a little break, and just an emotional separation from everything they're dealing with minute to minute.
Yeah.
And then there's another program that we do that's part of National Hospice, and that is something called We Honor Vets. And what we found is that veterans, as they come to the end of their life, there are some specific issues they have to deal with. There may have been some experiences in war that they've put aside for generations, for decades, and now that they're staring death in the face, those start to come back. And so what we found is that if we can team them up with a volunteer who is a veteran as well, it helps them to talk to a veteran who understands what they've been through, and helps them to find some peace with that. And so this We Honor Veterans program allows us to thank the veteran who is a patient for their service. We are going to be doing something called a pinning ceremony, where they would get a pin and a certificate thanking them for their service, but also it allows them to spend some time with a veteran and work through some of those issues that may be coming back.
That's important. Really is. And you have another program, the Tree of Life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the Tree of Life is a memorial event that we partner with Crystal Mall and with Biles and McDougall Funeral Home Services. They sponsor it. And basically there's a tree that's donated through Tuthill Nursery, and they are able to we use ornaments, paper ornaments that families will complete. They can write on, and then we hang them on the tree, and it's displayed in the mall for a week. And it's a fundraising event, but people do not have to donate to participate. But it's really just a nice event, and we have a ceremony that happens at the beginning of the display for the community.
What time of year is that?
That happens in April.
In April?
Yes.
A nice springtime.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's neat to see how they personalize the ornaments. Some people will put a name, and that works for them. Other people will put pictures and rhinestones and all kinds of things that remind them of their loved one. So it's a chance for them to remember fondly their loved one and to keep that memory alive.
Right.
Well, we only have a couple minutes left, but I wanted to ask each of you, what brought you to hospice?
Well, I think for me, it was hearing about the service. I have had a loss myself, but did not have hospice care with that loss. But when I heard about the services that hospice provided, I realized that it was just so important, and I wish that I had that during my experience. And so having the opportunity to work here has been wonderful, and I love the people I get to work with. They're really heartsy people, and it's just a great environment.
That's great.
In my previous work in public service, I'd come into contact with Hospice Southeastern Connecticut and was really struck by the people and the mission there. And so when it was time to move on, I decided that I would look to try and find something else that was public service oriented. And they were such a wonderful agency, such a wonderful organization with a big heart that they were a place that I looked, and I was fortunate enough that there was an opportunity where I could give something back. Our role in development is to tell the story of what the clinical people do. They do a wonderful job, they have a wonderful reputation, and we just try and tell that story to the people in the community so that they know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, we only have a few minutes, and I just would say we are coming up to the holiday season, and so a lot of us in small business think about, you know, instead of giving presents to each other every year, that you try to. Right. Well, I'm just kidding. But I just want to mention that it is a good time if you're thinking about your organization or your small business. It can be bigger or small or even just a one-on-one. But if you're thinking of an organization to donate to, and there are several out there, but I would definitely say that Southeastern Hospice. I always get it wrong, but you know, think about this organization and really.
It's a good organization
to donate. You know, we were talking about just something that I want to launch here in a few. I said it was a secret. Now, see, it's not a secret anymore. But
you're in trouble now.
I'm in trouble now. But just keep that in mind.
You'll hear about it soon.
As we go into
Stay tuned.
as we go into the holiday season. So, anyways, Denise, thank you so much.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
always a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you.
Okay, and Tricia,
I'll see you
next week.
Soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic, into mystic, into mystic.